If there's one thing we need less of, it's podcasts. Just because there are millions of morons on the internet and hundreds, maybe even thousands of them will listen to anything doesn't mean that more people need to start podcasts. And the latest person to throw their hat in the ring is Big Mike, Michelle Obama, whose preferred pronouns are she and her. The entire liberal media industrial complex helped launch the podcast, hoping to propel it to the top of the charts. And it's a weekly endeavor. And it's Michelle Obama and Michelle Obama's brother. And they're going to be grappling with life's biggest questions. Well, this we got to see. Here's a clip from the debut episode earlier this week.
In my opinion,
What?
a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Huh.
And people have been trying to
What is it
convince
called?
me
Is it just a
that
hot dog?
it is a hot dog.
It's its own category?
It's its own category.
This is one of those lame topics usually relegated to the morning talk shows on the big brand networks every 4th of July in order to fill airtime for the mentally enslaved morons. This is literally one of the lamest topics ever to be discussed in the media.
Is a hamburger a sandwich?
A hamburger can be a sandwich.
Well,
Yes.
why can't a hot... Well, what
Because,
makes it? It's the shape of the hot dog?
You have 2 pieces of bread and some kind of thing in the middle.
That's a hot dog.
A hot dog only has 1 piece of bread.
Not only was this one of the topics in the debut episode of the big groundbreaking podcast, they decided to clip the segments and then post it as a digital exclusive on Michelle Obama's YouTube channel, which has accumulated a whopping 25,000 subscribers. And this video has 22,000 views after being posted for 14 hours. My videos get 22,000 views within probably 10 minutes. And something very fishy is going on here because, as you can see, it has a higher number of thumbs up than it does views, which is a clear sign of botting if the video has been up for a few hours. Sometimes when a video is just posted, it takes a little while for the numbers to adjust and be confirmed. This video has been up now for an entire half day. And when you look at the comments, things get even stranger and funnier. By the way, guess who has the #1 thumbed up comment? Of course, it is yours truly with the question, which one is Michelle? A lot of people are noticing the strange ratio of the thumbs up to the view count. Other people are making quite hilarious comments like this guy. Hey, Big Mike, remember that good time you had on the Ellen Show? Those moves really let something slip. That comment is referring to this segment on Ellen DeGeneres' show where something strange is going on down there. You can't see. Oh. And when I checked some of the comments, I noticed that not only were a bunch of them just completely irrelevant, but all having Asian avatars and just reeked of bots. And so I started clicking the usernames of all of these comments because then you could go to the channel's homepage and you could see when the particular channel was created. And every single one of these was created on the same day as part of the same bot farm. As you can see, they joined YouTube January 31st, 2025. So did this person, so did this person, so did this person, so did all of them. So somebody was paying to bot the video, to thumb it up, and to post a bunch of garbage, fake, positive comments like these. This will be remembered forever. This should be on everyone's feed. And then this one, which is unironically hilarious. Someone sponsor this man. Here's another one who also posted that same comment from a different account. So they just had a bunch of different responses that the bot farm were pasting and then posting. This video is pure gold. My mind is blown. Most legendary video ever. Oh, it sure is. And here's how the media is trying to spin this incredible failure. This from Newsweek magazine. Michelle Obama podcast ratings compared to Joe Rogan's. Wow, it must be doing so well that it's up at the very top of the charts. The podcast's first episode received we'll be generous, rounded up 44,000 views as of press time, while the second, which featured an interview with Issa Rae, received 14,000 views. In contrast, the most recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience received 750,000 views as of press time, a much higher viewership. However, one area where Obama is beating Rogan is subscriber engagement. Oh, wait for this. On YouTube, Obama has 17,100 subscribers, where Joe Rogan has 19.5 million. Obama's first podcast has reached more than double her subscriber base, with her second reaching nearly 100% of her subscribers, while Rogan's most recent podcast reached around 3.8% of his own subscribers. They're trying to spin this as if it's a victory over Joe Rogan when his episode got over 17 times the viewership. This from the Daily Beast, an online waste of cyberspace. Fox News declares Michelle Obama's podcast a flop. No, reality shows it's a flop. So after several days now and countless millions of dollars of free publicity and endless interviews on the big name brand networks promoting her new podcast titled IMO, which I assume means in my opinion, trying to appeal to the youth and their texting lingo, Big Mike still has barely 25,000 subscribers. Compare that to Brett Cooper, where after word broke that she was leaving the Daily Wire and going independent and launching her own YouTube channel, she accumulated, I think, over 100,000 subscribers, like at least 80,000 subscribers the first day, and she's up to 1.4 million subscribers. Obviously, as a media analyst, I'm familiar with many of the names in the media ecosystem on the left and on the right. Got to keep tabs on those in Conservative Inc. in order to monitor their shtick and their MO. And while obviously I'm not just a media analyst, a media critic, it means I criticize, I tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly about the media ecosystem and the personalities. Well, I'm sure I'll find faults with everyone. I would recommend, if you have a daughter, to have her subscribe to Brett Cooper, because the younger generation needs conservative women to bring them conservative content, because they're certainly not going to be connecting with anyone like me or any of the guys over the Daily Wire. While her content and her style isn't really my cup of tea, I do think that she is a great role model for young women and young girls in Gen Z and now Gen Alpha, who also have smartphones and are accessing the internet. It is interesting what a failure Big Mike's podcast has been, because the books that Michelle puts out do very well. And Big Mike is a big fan of books.
This is Drag Queen Story Hour. It's your classic children's reading program with a twist. The day's literary leader is a larger-than-life drag queen.
That is an original Mark Dice meme that I made, by the way. And speaking of drag queens, Dylan Mulvaney has a new book that just came out this week that is being celebrated and promoted by the liberal media, confronting the Bud Light controversy head-on, and other things that nobody cares about, because the book didn't even make it into the top 500 on Amazon's bestseller list. But it will probably be awarded on the curated lists, like the New York Times bestseller list, the USA Today list, which are just reading recommendations from the editors. The Amazon ranking is an authentic algorithm. And for somebody with 9 million followers on TikTok and the support of the entire liberal media industrial complex to come out with a book, and on its debut day, which is usually the day when it reaches the highest of the charts, it didn't even make it into the top 100, didn't even make it into the top 500 is, well, it's an abject failure, but it also is absolutely hilarious. And to compare and contrast and humble brag, my book, The War on Conservatives, made it to number 4 on Amazon's bestseller list of all books. It's easy for social media personalities to come out with a new book and claim that it's a bestseller when it's a bestseller in a category, which is very, very easy to do. This is not in a category. This is number 4 in all books. And it's very difficult to beat some of the big brand name celebrity books that come out at the same time. So there were a couple A-list celebrities. I think Britney Spears or Barbara Streisand had books that came out. So very difficult to compete with them. But Hollywood Propaganda, How TV, Movies, and Music Shape Our Culture, made it to number 3 on the chart back in 2020 of all books. The Liberal Media Industrial Complex made it to number 2. So, if I come out with another book at the end of this year or next year, I am working on another few that I will release at some point. We gotta push it to number 1. We're very, very close. The readers know I don't just throw a book together. They take a lot of time. They have almost 1,000 footnotes. They're very thoroughly researched and sourced and also very serious compared to my sort of clowning around here on YouTube. In the meantime, if you want to sponsor my work and get access to my private locals community, click the link in the description below. It's $5 a month. It's a private subscription blog. It's owned by Rumble, so it is a free speech platform. It's where I post some commentary, some memes, video clips that would be a little problematic here on YouTube. So click the link in the description below, head on over there, and check it out.